Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Technical Market Insights, where we're going to do some digging into the charts. We're going to do some scans, and we're going to see some of the biggest movers and biggest losers today. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, share, hit like, leave your feedback. I want to make this content something that's hopefully educational and something you can use. So let's dig in. So if you've seen the previous videos, you already know we anticipated a pullback here. If you look at SPY, that is, once again, we look at oversold and overbought according to the stochastics, and we have been overbought. So I've been telling people buy time and lock in profits. I actually had alerts go off over the last couple days to take profit. So you can trade. Look, hopefully you learn enough from this video, whether you're a day trader, you trade options, you're a passive investor, active investor. But you can do it very, very simply, even by just setting up alerts on specific stocks. We'll go over some more of that educational stuff on this entire platform, which I use as TC2000. I've used it for as long as I can remember. So we'll go over some more of that maybe this weekend. I'm going to start an educational series. Right now we're just going to take a look at the market, and it did exactly what we anticipated. We anticipated a pullback here as soon as it got about the overbought condition. Now we've been watching the weekly charts because we expected the weekly charts to bounce and touch this trend. So it wouldn't surprise me, because I am expecting the monthly charts. So this is the monthly chart. The previous chart was a weekly chart. And the other chart was a day chart. So on this monthly chart, we'll go over on some of the other ETFs as well. You can see it got close to all-time highs a few months ago, and we were telling people, you can go to my website makecashwork.com to see the article. Monthly charts are exhausted, not a lot of future growth. Time to probably lock in profits, close out some positions, and wait for a pullback, and which is what I did. I still make trades here and there, but the only time I trade is when the daily charts are in the oversold condition. Anyway, back to the overall market conditions. Right now, I'm expecting a green October, just because you can see, even when it pulled back here, it's not all red bars, right? Everything don't go straight up, everything don't go straight down. So I expect to see a green October. And when we look at all the other ETFs, they all are very similar right now. Some ran higher than others. Some pulled back less than others, but they're all got the same similar pattern, where they're establishing lower highs and lower lows, which is pretty bearish. So this is the weekly chart, and if you look at the daily charts, I would say honestly next week will be red. We'll probably see another green week. So if you look at the weekly bars, because the daily charts are overbought, so the daily charts have got to swing, and your hourly charts are going to swing, and you just need to know how to read a chart, plain and simple. It don't matter what kind of investor you are or trader you are. I'm not a day trader. I do trade options, but I don't post about them just because they're too risky. I don't want other people trying to follow my lead on them if they don't know what they're doing. But I do long-term swing trades. I got two separate accounts. One is a long-term investment account. I actually got 3 other accounts besides that, which are custodial accounts. And then I have a trading account. Right now, my trading account has been already locked in profit. Because if you look at the market, this is the daily charts on everything. This is SMH. And here, we've had this trend lined up all week. I said it's going to touch that and pull back. Go back through some of the previous videos, you'll see that. Why? Because it's just based on the highs and the lows. It's based on being oversold and overbought. I've been doing this for this November be 23 years. So it just comes natural to me. So I'm going to try to get back to some of the basic stuff to kind of explain this weekend and start like an educational video. There's a lot of beginners that's very new to the market, may never even seen a chart like this, and that's the kind of stuff I'm going to go over. So right now, especially with everything going on, I don't talk a lot of fundamentals, but if you look around the world, mainly because how many times does bad news happen, the market rallies, good news happens, the market drops? I don't pay attention to news. A long time ago, I used to try to trade the news, didn't work out well. The chart tells you everything you need to know, and that's what I go by. I barely pay attention to any market news. One of the reasons I'm doing this is because somebody asked me to do it, and because there's nothing good to listen to as far as stock commentary and analysis goes. So hopefully I can make this a good channel for you guys. Subscribe and leave feedback is the only way I want to know. If it becomes a good channel, I'll invest in some better quality video camera stuff, which I'm looking into now. Maybe even set up a studio, I don't know. I like putting my money to work wisely. So leave me some feedback. Tell me what you think. But SMH, we've seen the same thing. And this is, I mean, I was calling this right here. Like I was posting these charts months ago. Look at the monthly, that's the weekly. I mean, whoever was buying there, even if you're even if you dollar cost average, if you dollar cost average every week, there's stocks I dollar cost average on, but I dollar cost average when they're overbought or oversold. So for instance, I'll show you, this one's in every single one of my custodial accounts and my long-term investment account. And on the daily, I've been saying since January to buy on every pullback. So when I dollar cost average, instead of throwing money at it every week, I hold my money until it pulls back. And every oversold position, or every pullback to the bottom Bollinger Band, sometimes the Bollinger Bands are tight and it touches the bottom. That means it's consolidated a little bit, and I'm going to take my risk and we'll pick some up there. But every single oversold pullback, I've stacked a ton of cash and I went all the way in. Now, you may say, maybe I'll do it for an experiment. Maybe I'll take a stock that's trending up and just buy every week a certain amount and then buy only when it's oversold and hold that weekly money back. That's a good idea. I'm glad I thought of that. I'm going to try that and see where we end up. I think this year coming up, 2024, I'm going to start a trading account with about $2,000, and I'm going to put 10% of my income in it every week. Would be every bi-weekly whenever you get paid. And I want to show you guys how I grow my account. Hopefully it's beneficial to you. It's been very beneficial to me. And another reason to do that, let's go back to SPY. So let's go for an example. Let's finish with the overall market. So right here, just yesterday, I was talking about I don't think it's going to break and hold the 200-day moving average. It's getting close to overbought. We're probably going to see a pullback, and anytime something cannot hold the 200-day moving average, I'm out. If you follow me, you know that already. So anything in DIA, anything under the 200-day moving average isn't a trade. But I like trading leverage ETFs, so UDOW, no. Let's go to the Qs. The Qs look just like SMH. I mean, we can draw a straight line right there. I'd be expecting them to pull back starting tomorrow and next week. May see some green days in between. Like I said, the hourly chart will swing just like the daily charts. They get oversold, overbought. So for day traders, maybe that's something you get out of this, paying attention. You probably watch 15-minute charts. I don't know what you do. I have day traded before and killed it. I just don't like it. I prefer to do monthly swing trades. Let's go to, I'm going to give you an example. Oil was, it kind of bounced out, oversold. I would be, if you're in this position, personally, I don't like trading commodities, so I'm not messing with it. But I do watch it just to know what's going on with oil. It wouldn't surprise me if this thing is back to 83 here soon, especially with everything going on around the world. So right now, overall in the market, I am waiting for another oversold pullback. And just to give you an example of how I trade, let's say this leveraged ETF, SPXL. Okay, this is the leveraged version of SPY. Let's say I entered this when it pulled back to the oversold area, which at this point I was watching the monthly and the weekly charts. If you follow me on StockTwitch, you probably know that. I was kind of putting a halt to a lot of stuff. But let's say you entered right here. Well, the whole point, something I teach, something in both my books, is having enough cash flow to lower your lower your average. All right, everything's about averages. So you want to lower your cost average. So like I've said multiple times in other videos, I would go at maybe 20-30%. So with the monthly chart, periodically, you look at the monthly chart probably once a month because every bar is a month, right? You don't have to look at that every day. So looking at the monthly chart, I might have, and I actually thought about going about 20% in my trading account in this, right around here. Now here, it pulled back a total of 10%. So you would have been down 10% if you would have just went all in right there. You would have recouped it right there. But if you would have went all in right there, you've been down about 10% total. You might have just called it. A lot of people out there compound losses. I don't get it. But if you only went 20% in, you would have been able to average down 5 more times, right? Well, 4 more times, 40, 60, 80, 100. So you've been able to enter 5 times total, and you could have probably brought your average down to roughly right around here without getting a calculator out and doing some detailed math as to how often you're going to average in, which honestly I would have waited until I got about 5% in, 5% down. I probably would have just bought 2 more times right there and right there. Average probably would have been right around there. And you would have had a 5-6% gain in about 24 days, which isn't great, but that's how you manage your position. Okay, so enough of that. I'm gonna start doing more educational videos like that, so I'm not throwing all that in on the market commentaries. But what's going on in the market right now, I'm expecting a pullback, and we expected this little up bounce. We expected the bounce and everything. I mean, as soon as it hit oversold, I was watching to see if it broke the 200-day moving average, which it did. Expected a little farther drop, and then it's always going to bounce out of the oversold condition into the overbought. Everything swings. And I'll tell you what, very rarely do I see it go from here to here. And even if you went all in, you're at least not getting your money back. So have confidence and patience when you buy there. All right, so let's see what happened in the market today. I'm going to pull up. We're going to look at some of the biggest losers, biggest winners. Let's make this a little smaller. I want percentage change. This is why I stick to ICAP 1000. But we're going to look at everything. I only trade, what the heck is going on? Only trade and really pay attention to ICAP 1000, but let's take a look at everything. I mean, some of these stocks, that had a big gain, but medical device company, it's probably looks like a pump and dump. You know how many people got in this pump and dump today from 2 to 3? The sad thing is a lot of people probably got in that and got their butt handed to them, probably down over 50%. Stay away from pump and dumps. Stay away from trash. Yeah, that went up 170%. But I bet more people's lost money in this stock than is making money. And I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I mean, look at it's done splits. I mean, heck, from when it dumped under the 200-day moving average, which is when you get out, it's down about 100%. I mean, look at that. That's why anything under the 200-day moving average, I don't care if you're trading penny stocks, just get out of it. It'll save you a lot of bloodbaths. Yeah, you might have one pop back over the 200-day and go back up, but if it can't hold the 200-day moving average, don't mess with it. Let's see what else we got. And one thing you're going to always expect in this market, because I started off trading biotech when I first got into trading stocks. I was in that get rich overnight scheme. I was doing FDA approvals 6 months down the road. Tell you what, I had some big time winners, and then I'd have an 80% loser that just killed my account. I wouldn't touch a single biotech now. Don't matter how much you pay me. Look at that, under the 200-day moving average. Straight garbage. Yeah, it's up 80% today. But I mean, it dropped just 56% over the last 18 days. Guys, get out. One thing I can say, that's why I don't trade trash. It's one of the highest movers today, but I wouldn't touch it for anything. There's no way I'd be in that. And it looks like it just did a split. Food packaging company. Look, all your biggest runners have been your biggest losers. This is another one. Of course, it's biotech. Like I said, all the biggest winners and losers are probably going to be biotech. Let's do the same thing for the high cap 1000 over here. See the different charts. I mean, that's still garbage. Walgreens. But here, VMW. Been great to buy down here when it got oversold after a gap up. And you're looking at 15% gain. Those are the kind of swings I'm looking for, the kind of moves I'm looking for. I could care less about some of these biggest movers in the market because they're all probably, this is a household consumer. Let's look at some of the biggest losers. How'd I know? Biotech. Every time. Your biggest losers and biggest winners. And got to the overbought condition. We would have never been in it because it's trash and it's under the 200-day. Look at that. Down almost 100% since across the 200-day. Now look at this. This looks like a biotech that was a pump and dump yesterday. So it ran 313% yesterday. Somebody actually bought this around $1, 85 cents. And now it's back down to 25 cents. How many of you guys are doing this? Especially people on StockTwits. I know you guys love to trade and gamble. But man, your portfolio's got to be bleeding. Here's another one. Look at that pump and dump. Look, yesterday. Oh my goodness, that can't be right. Well, it's a 4,000% gain right there. That's crazy. 60% drop. I don't know if that's actually legit or not. I'd be curious to look into that one. Actually, let's look. Let's pull the news up. So 1 day ago, yeah, looks like, wow. Looks like 1 day ago, H.C. Wainwright raises price target on Tempest Therapeutics to 47 from 35. I mean, their account's probably been bleeding. They've probably been buying here. I never buy on analysis upgrades. I'm usually buying way before them if it's a good stock. But it does deliver improved results in updated liver cancer. Let's read into this. 1B/2 study. You know what that means? This company's got another 10 years before anything happens. You know how many biotech companies I've seen do that? and just destroy people's portfolio. Jump like that, next thing you know, it's back down here in no time. Why? Because there's nothing else good. When's the next event happening? The company's not making money. Your money's just sitting there hoping something happens in the next 10 years. If you're going to trade biotech, get in companies like Lilly, which we've went over in some of the previous videos, and a few others. Another biotech just killed. Alright, so done looking at all the losers in the overall market. Let's check it out in the high cap. Look at that. This is Carvana, one of the biggest losers in the high cap 1000 list. Now, we've seen this over here oversold, and I even told people you might have a 40% upswing, but for the car market right now with rates, I wouldn't be getting in it. It has a little fundamentals to it, but you also got a possibility of 50% drop to that 200-day moving average, and that any stock I buy, single stock, even if it's for a trade, I'm looking at the PE. I don't think Carvana's making a lot of money. I'll have to double check that. But if they don't have a good PE and paying a decent dividend, I'm not touching it, period. Even if they're in the high cap 1000. So if you bought this when it's oversold, let's say you bought right around here, you're down about 15%. I would have probably added, if you go in 20%, remember you got 4 more times to add. I'd be adding there, I'd be adding here. It sucks because it's already came out of the oversold territory, but you're going to have to keep your average low, lock in your profits when it gets up to the overbought condition. I mean, that is ugly. Look at that. One of the biggest losers under the 200-day moving average. It has dropped 31% since it's crossed it. Yeah, it's ugly. Wouldn't have been in it. Medical device company. Man, isn't that dumb? If it has to do with pharmaceutical, medical devices, biotech, you got to be very, very careful. I mean, Lilly, Aviva, which I probably pronounced that wrong. Those are the type of companies pay a good dividend, making good money, and still doing a lot of R&D. Those are the type of companies. If you're going to go into biotech, that's the only ones I would mess with. Now let's do a quick scan and see if there's any. Well, we can filter this right here. Let's filter this. It's going to show us everything, all the bullish stocks. And we got nothing oversold right now. So there's nothing bullish oversold. Like I said, I'm waiting for the overall market to pull back. We're in the overbought territory. I would personally hang tight unless you're scaling into something that you own already when it's oversold. I'm not entering nothing until that gets oversold again. It might take a month. We'll keep looking. We expect the trend to keep up. Make sure you hit subscribe, leave some feedback. I'm out.